What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Ty and Bob Pod. Tyler Dunne here with Bob McGinn. Bob, a little scruff I see. You're letting the facial hair go. You look like a grizzled vet. I like it.
I haven't done this since like I was your age, Tyler. But now I'm just plain lazy. I can't stand shaving,
That's usually what it boils down to. It's people think that we're trying to make a fashion statement. It's late. It's just laziness. You save yourself 15 minutes.
Yeah, you do.
I do have to clean myself up, though, by the weekend. My brother is getting married Saturday.
Wow. Really?
Austin, getting hitched. Yeah, we're pretty...
He's the hockey scout.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's a scout for the Buffalo Sabres, has been a long time. My best friend, the best man I know. I can't wait. It's going to be a hell of a time. Down here in the woods, we're doing it on the land, and then we'll have fam and friends all getting down over a brewski or five. It should be a grand old time.
So that's on Saturday.
You got it. Yep.
Great.
Yep. Have you met Austin? Did you guys ever meet?
At your wedding.
That's right. Of course.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
One of these days, I need to splice up Bob McGinn cutting a rug on that dance floor at our wedding and edit it into the Bob pod here. It is on the. It did make the documentary or the video footage of our wedding. You've got some moves. Can't deny it.
Here comes Pat now. She's got the moves. That poor lady.
I love it. Do you remember what song you like dancing to at our wedding? Did you have a favorite?
That I do not know.
I mean, Thunderstruck brought the house down from what I remember. we definitely had to make sure AC/DC was a staple. Yep. Do you like AC/DC?
They're okay.
What are you listening to these days? We got to intro these pods with some music like the good old days.
Ooh, what am I listening to? Billy Ocean yesterday. Mr. Ocean in the 80s. You know Billy?
Vaguely aware of the name.
Yeah. At the Big House Saturday in Ann Arbor, they had 110,000 for a concert. Michigan had a bye. Zach Bryan and that was it John Mayer? Yeah. So now, do you like those two guys?
Oh yeah, I loved Zach Bryan before. I mean, he's blown up. He's huge now. All of his music is phenomenal. But I definitely get into that like Texas country scene, Turnpike Troubadours. Even like Whiskey Myers is kind of Southern rock. He was kind of a part of that all, and then he was just so unbelievably talented. He's larger than life now. But yeah, his tickets sell for a lot. He was here in Buffalo. Didn't even think about going. It was quite expensive, but I can see him filling up that stadium, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, brass tack. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Dallas, Green Bay.
Yeah, that was what's your take on ties, Bob? Do you like ties?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you can't have these players play forever. Risk of injury, Tyler. I buy the league on that one. I don't like it. Don't like I like the ties.
I had a sneaking suspicion that you liked a good tie.
How about you, Tyler?
I don't like them at all.
No.
Can't stand them. I want elation and I want dejection. I want both extremes after a game. You need one locker room just celebrating like crazy, and one locker room down. I mean, what do you feel after a tie? I mean, we covered a few in the JS days. I can remember Matt Flynn and the Packers tying. Was it Minnesota that year when Rodgers was out? It's just what do they say? It's like kissing your sister. I mean, there's got to be a better analogy out there. I don't know. It's just nothing, just nothingness. It's like having a salad for dinner without dressing and a glass of water while you're watching C-SPAN. And the temperature's just perfect. I,
I
there's
eat
no
a
way to
lot of
live. There's
salad.
no way to live.
I eat a lot of salad and drink a lot of water. I don't watch C-SPAN, but Pat's laughing back there.
Yeah, it was a strange game. I think though, given the circumstances of Green Bay and Dallas going into this game, that you kind of probably do have some real emotions in both locker rooms, though. I mean, Dallas just got humiliated at Soldier Field, and they're still defenseless. They can't stop anything. But the fact that they were competitive in this game, I mean, when it could have been just abject disaster, you've got Micah Parsons returning to Arlington. You have Jerry Jones giving yet another interview before that game. I don't know if you caught that one, Bob. He said
No.
he's always right. He's always right, Jerry.
Okay.
Right. And once again, hearkened the Herschel Walker trade, compared it to that multiple times.
Huh.
Yeah, he's off his rocker a little bit, but it could have been, I mean, it could have been absolute rock bottom disaster if Micah Parsons just, has 3 sacks, Green Bay wins in a blowout. But they were competitive. Dak Prescott was fantastic. I'm sure we'll get into it. And in Green Bay, it's that's the team with the bad taste in its mouth out of this. What's your initial reaction to 40-40 Green Bay 2-1-1 now?
So they're in this. Oh, I want to set the stage here. The North is the second best division in football, 9-6-1. NFC West is the leader at 11-5-1. NFC East is third at 8-7-1. Nobody in the AFC has a winning record. AFC West 8-8. So we got a battle in the North, and I don't know which way it's going to go. I mean, I'm not dropping off the Packer bandwagon. I mean, I still think they got a hell of a team. They played a terrible defensive game. They had everybody healthy. I mean, Dallas doesn't have CeeDee Lamb. Are you kidding me? And they blow this game. They dominated in the beginning, and it was just how do you see it, Tyler, before we start getting into the positions?
A handful of things come to mind. I think, I'm where you are. You covered the game long enough. You got to be careful not to jump off the ledge in late September, especially with this team. We went through a few of the clunkers past. To me, it's encouraging that the offense, after a no-show at Cleveland, I get it, the opponent is completely different, came alive. I mean, Jordan Love was really great. I mean, up until that last play, which we'll get into, he nearly cost them a game. Thrown it to the end zone. Came down to a half a second preserved for the game-tying field goal. But I thought he was great with his legs, with his arms, spreading all over the field. The run game came to life a little. The fact that offensively you found your groove is a good thing. I mean, that might be how they have to win games, because I don't know what happens with the defense from here. It just seemed like, and you'll get into the specifics, I'm sure, Bob, and maybe this is the modern NFL too, like a player would catch a pass and then they react. Like there's no breaking on the ball. There's very minimal violence, no anticipation. It's very receiver catches the ball, and then I can make my move on the back end. On the front end, I guess Parsons had a couple moments. You know what a takeaway is for a while watching this? It seemed like, maybe I wouldn't put it past him. You never really know. It almost seemed like Jerry Jones just stepped into the locker room himself and said, whatever happens in this game, Micah Parsons doesn't beat us. They ran away from him. They protection schemed him. They did everything in their power to a fault to try to prevent Micah Parsons. And he still made a huge play, shoestringing Dak Prescott in overtime there. But you got to get something out of your defense. That was a no-show. And then probably the number one storyline, again, is special teams to me. A disaster of an extra point leads to a 3-point swing, which was the game. You've chronicled Rich Bisaccia for a while now. You never understood it from day one, how he was put up on this pedestal and made out to be this Lord and Savior for all things Green Bay special teams. I mean, their special teams have been awful for 3 decades. give or take a season here and there, right? For the most part of 3 decades, the Packers special teams have been really, really poor. And I don't know if that's a byproduct of offensive coaches kind of running the show. You know what I mean? Like special teams it is more of a defensive mindset. It's a different way to approach the sport. And they'd never say this at the podium. Like Mike Sherman, Mike Holmgren, Matt LaFleur would never stand there and say this, but they probably don't have as much respect for special teams. They probably view it as a nuisance. You know, if they were hooked up to a lie detector test, as all right, what you get what you emphasize, as McCarthy used to say, but they haven't emphasized it. And when they have, I guess they put their resources in the wrong places. It's just been a disaster. I mean, a handful of plays sure have dictated games, huge games for this team, especially in the LaFleur era. But maybe that's what's demoralizing is they did pay up for a special teams coordinator and nothing has really changed.
All right, let me go in my order, Tyler, and then we'll get to my thoughts on the teams at the end, okay?
Can you move your straw a little bit, Bob? I'm going to be staring at that straw in front of the screen all
It's a good straw, though, you know? Good plastic straw, Tyler.
Are you drinking the coffee with a straw?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to give you shit about the microwave coffee, and 3 kids, I've come around to that. Maybe I got to open my mind to the straw in the coffee.
And I'm using that Guatemalan coffee, courtesy of Rocket Raj.
Oh, Rocket Raj.
Thank you, Double R.
We went through that coffee
Oh, you finished it.
like 5 months ago. We went through that lickety split. It was fantastic.
Thank you, Raj.
Yeah, he always keeps us honest. I got to respond to him still on my column at the site. He called me out. He's down on the Giants, down on Brian Dable, doesn't understand why I'm dying on that hill, but it's a coach that I'll believe in with Jackson Dart, all right? We'll get around to that more.
All right, we got 4 games to go. I've hit them all for many hours on each game, so we're going to bounce a little bit. Let's start with the receivers. Luke Musgrave is in his 3rd year, Tyler? Yeah. You know, I still don't know what he is. I mean, he was this seam running, great athlete guy. And now he's just used as a blocker. And I watch him 25 snaps. He's just not a mix it up guy, you know? I mean, he's not going to look to hit people. He doesn't break down well when he's coming across on those leads. He gets bounced by people around the line of scrimmage. He had half a bad run against Clowney at the point of attack late in that game. Then he had a great block on that 18-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, the Jacobs touchdown. He kind of sealed that off, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yep. All right, so Kraft, you know, he might be better than what they use him, but they have a lot of weapons, and they're a running back, wide receiver, offense kind of, and he is just schemed up to come out of pass pro, out of little spins and leaks. I think he can do more than that. He's very good at what he does here. Gained 14 on that spin and leak. That was leak out. That was kind of a neat thing. He had a bad run on the goal line down there, gain of 1 for Ezeraku. All right, Fitzpatrick, 10 snaps. Kraft, 79 out of a possible 83. Boy, that's a long day. They have a bye this week. Okay, Dobbs, 75 out of 83 snaps, 3 touchdowns. We've talked about it. He's got feet like Devontae Adams. That's the best release I've seen, at least that I've seen a lot of, and he can just beat people. He beat Bland on the fade, 2-yard touchdown. Slant against Kyer Elam. What is he still doing in the league? 1-yard touchdown.
Oh, many people in Buffalo wondering the same thing.
And then he ran the post against Elam, who's playing very soft at the end, 15-yard touchdown. 3rd and 8, he ran a stop against Bland for 18. That started the final drive. In overtime, he missed a block on a bubble screen that hurt. Golden caught the bomb in traffic for 46, ran a reverse, motion screen, ran backward, got planted, missed a block late. -3. And then on 4th and 6 and OT, ran that hook for 14, made a good low catch. I mean, we haven't seen the best of Golden yet. I'm not sure what he is yet. Savion Williams, he's getting a little bit of a larger role, 10 snaps. He's a gadget, a blocker, a reverse guy. He can throw the football. Kind of interesting. Wick, 64. I never even really noticed him all day. All right, let's go to the O-line, Tyler. Sean Ryan, and I mean, they did not run the ball well. Jacobs averaged 3.9. Wilson ran well, but I swear it's all Wilson being his own blocker. So let's look at Ryan. Ryan and Jenkins were problems, and so was Kennard. But, you know, of their top 8 O-linemen, 3 weren't there. So and the 5, fortunately for the Packers, they went the distance. All right, Ryan. Poor pull right off the bat. Bad run against Ezeraku, -1. False start at the 1-yard line. A hurry to Odazua. A bad run against Clark. No sustain. Gain of 1. A flush to Solomon Thomas. Knockdown to Kenny Clark. Ineligible receiver downfield. I mean, that's really a bad game for Sean Ryan. Now let's go to Elgin Jenkins. He had a second stinker in a row. Bad run. Missed Odazua, -2. Looks old, slow in the open field out in the space. Bad run. Missed Odazua. Hurry. Gets bull rushed by Odazua. False start at the goal line. And a flush to Clark. Kennard starts at right tackle. He's their 3rd-string right tackle. They gave up a 6th-round pick for the guy. You know, he's so big, Tyler. Let's get his numbers. Kennard is 6'5.5", 328, 5'3", He had 35-inch arms and 11.25-inch hands. Both were the largest at his position in that 22 draft. He's off balance a lot. I don't know if he's maybe more of a guard, but, you know, that's not the point now. He gives up a hurry. He's got a hold, false start, a sack to Williams, which is nullified, and a flush to Clowney. Not very good. I thought Walker was pretty good on the other side. He gave up a sack to Houston, your man James Houston, in 4.0. A flush to Fowler, but he was pretty solid. And then Morgan, he had a hold on Nealon on a run. He had another a bad run against Clark. Bad run. He missed the linebacker, failed again. You know, I thought Kenny Clark was by far the best defensive tackle on the field. Green Bay missed him in this game. We'll talk about the defense in a while, but what settled Dallas down, they could get yards between the guards all day long because they don't have an interior defense, the Packers, but we'll get to that. All right, let's go to the QB. Love, all right, he sees they got a 12-man penalty. He learned from Rodgers. He spots it. He puts the ball up for, you know, he throws it out. Ball's intercepted. He knew it was going to be erased. Like it. On the dead run, he flips the ball out to Jacobs on the sideline, gain of 28. Wow. He underthrew Dobbs on that 80, would have been an 80-yard touchdown. And a half, I mean, he's just as if he doesn't have a care in the world, Tyler. This guy, he's just expressionless out there. I have no idea what he's thinking or feeling. He's been like that all 6 years. Anyway, clock's running down. Just get rid of the ball. Gets strip sacked at the end of the half, and it leads to points. I mean, it was a brutal play. Second half, you know what Green Bay's doing? They're flooding the zone and then throwing the ball in the flat, whether it be Jacobs or Kraft or some glance thing, you know. And his completion percentage builds up and the yards build up because these guys can run after the catch. He ducked under Solomon Thomas, avoided a sack, ran for 25 on the play. I mean, it was just brilliant stuff there. He's pretty darn good at the throwaways, Tyler. He'll take them at all, anytime, any spot, and usually you can't fault him. He's not going to throw the ball back in the middle of the field. We'll get to one of those in another game later. And And 3rd and 8 from the 6, a blitz. He stood tall, hit Dobbs for 18. In the overtime, or in the end of reg, he leads an 80-yard touchdown drive, outstanding. And then in OT, he only got him as far as the 38, and that wins it with a field goal. Running backs, boy, let's start with Wilson. 25 snaps for this Emmanuel Wilson, 26 on a screen. 3rd and 2, he just brought it so hard right behind Jenkins. Second effort, gains 3. Made 2 guys miss on the left flat, gain of 12. He did drop a check down. He's a plow horse. He's one tough guy to bring down. 2.25. He's a mean man. And then Jacobs, I don't know, his average, what's he averaging per carry, Tyler?
Not much.
3.3. Receiving 11.9. That's good. There's been a lot of missed blocks the last 2 games up front. And plus, he's not really avoiding on some of these missed bad block situations. He outran Diggs to the corner for a gain of 19. Scored a couple touchdowns. 2 terrific cuts on the 18-yard. Made Kenny Clark miss on the hole. He hurt his knee, came back. 15-yard gain at the 2-minute warning. Rugged run. 3rd and 10 at the 15. Why wasn't he in the game? And then Brooks showed absolutely no patience on a screen. That's it on the offense, Tyler.
You know what? Maybe a really encouraging development for Green Bay out of this dressingless C-SPAN salad 40-40 tie is Romeo Dobbs. You know, here's a receiver. We got to know a go long in the playoff run a couple years ago. Sat down for some ribeye steaks at Republic Chop House in Green Bay. Did you and Pat go there, by the way, in your Green Bay days?
Never.
Oh, worth every penny.
Yeah.
We don't have any sponsors for the show. I really mean that. Great spot. And, you know, everybody can check out the story for the detail if they're like, we get into that, the combine that turned off those scouts and those coaches that you reported on during the draft. They thought that he was mentally frail, or he gets into just being deathly ill from food poisoning and oversleeping, and he lost 10 pounds. It was a total nightmare. Escaping South Central LA, really that thin line between life and death. He lived it up close. Much different world in Green Bay, Wisconsin, than what he witnessed on a day-to-day basis. But I thought that maybe the most interesting part of that conversation, I'm going to pull it up here before, right to the part here. So you remember Terry Robisky, coached in the NFL forever. Yeah. He's a character. I want to get him on the podcast because it would just be awesome to hear all of his football stories from over the years. But he trained Romeo Dobbs ahead of that draft, and he was hard on him, like unbelievably hard on Romeo Dobbs. And there's a story where he's watching footage from the Senior Bowl practices via Jarmaine, who's Romeo's brother. And when it was forwarded to him, he was just mortified. He saw on the screen there was this one-on-one rep where Dobbs reached across the line of scrimmage and shake the DB's hand, and he just could not stand that pleasantry. He called Jarmaine immediately. I'll say the quote, "Run out there to the fence by the sideline," Robisky told him, "and you tell that MFer I said, don't you ever in your goddamn life shake hands with the enemy across from you. You tell that son of a bitch he's down here to get a job, and he's down here to make money. He ain't here to make no goddamn friends. If you want to make friends, you should stay in L.A. and sit up on the corner of Crenshaw. Don't ever shake a goddamn hand again. Unless it's your first cousin, don't ever shake a hand again, and don't let me see it." So the message was relayed to Romeo. That night, Romeo called Robisky, made no excuses, didn't shake any more hands the rest of the week. So he trained him hard. Romeo Dobbs worked hard. Romeo Dobbs put in the good word with Sam Seal, the Packers scout, said, like, this is somebody that will listen. He's disciplined. He's really unlike most wide receivers. He barely says anything. He doesn't look too far ahead. You can see why Brian Gutekunst, Ted Thompson before him, why anybody running the show in Green Bay would want this guy. But I thought this was really interesting. He said toward the end of our conversation, All right, this is right from the story. I write that again. Dobbs is not one to manifest. He never closes his eyes and envisions himself utterly dominating cornerbacks. That's what gives Robisky pause too. Deep down in his heart, he isn't sure if Dobbs has the confidence to be a Sterling Sharp, a James Lofton, a Devontae Adams. If those receivers are tens, he calls Dobbs an 8.5 because he's not sure the receiver has the confidence to say point blank, "I'm going to the Hall of Fame." Quote, "I think he's just playing the game to catch a lot of balls to help the Packers win. I don't think he goes out on Sunday to dominate that guy across the line." And then he brought up the Senior Bowl handshake again. Quote, "The other group of guys I just called for you, they ain't shaking nobody's hand. They're kicking people's ass. I don't care if it was Deion Sanders or Rod Smith, Charles Woodson. They're going to beat his ass in the ground, and they're going to put a dagger in your heart. James Lofton would put a dagger in your heart. Devontae Adams today is still putting the fear of God in people. I think that Romeo Dobbs goes out there with a mindset of, I'm going to bust my ass. I'm going to do what I got to do today to help my team win the game. I don't think he'll go into a game and say, I'm going to catch 11 for 192 and 2 touchdowns. I'm going to destroy this boy. He takes his time and he lets the game come to him, end quote. Long-winded way of saying, in this Dallas game, I saw some attitude out of Romeo Dobbs from afar that I haven't really noticed, right? I think he's getting older. He's getting more experienced. He's getting more confident. You saw him after that third touchdown. He's putting up, that's 3. There was one part before the commercial break. I don't know what he was pissed off at. He's losing his mind at somebody or something. There's been a lot more emotion out of Romeo Dobbs, a lot more alpha. I mean, you can see Jordan Love goes to him in some pretty big spots. And I think it's great. You draft all these receivers, and they all can do different things. At the end of the day, if you're Green Bay, 3rd and 8, everything on the line, you've got to have a dude out there who's going to win one-on-one, and you're going to go to him in a big spot. Out of the whole collection of receivers, he is that receiver for Green Bay. So maybe in his own roundabout way, he's getting to that place that Terry Robisky would like to see Romeo Dobbs get to, where, no, he's not shaking hands. He wants to reach into your chest and grab your heart and then stomp all over it.
He's only got 13 catches in 4 games. I mean, maybe they ought to start featuring the guy. The ball goes everywhere.
It seems like they've been 13 massive catches, too.
Yeah, he's averaging 13-8, 4 touchdowns. Maybe he's just better than all these guys. Maybe he should start getting the ball. The ball, it's an equal opportunity offense, and maybe they ought to just winnow it down a little bit. All right, let's go to the D. Again, I'm going to say that when they needed yardage, man, and when they were hurting, they could give it to Javonte Williams, and he got it inside. 20 for 85, 4.3. Even Sanders helped, 2 for 8 for 4.0 before he got hurt. So what do you got inside? Okay, Wyatt played 13 snaps. Now, he's not a run player, but he's been better this year against the run. I'm convinced of that. So he showed some pursuit. I didn't think he showed that kind of pursuit in the past, and that's when he got hurt, chasing on the screen. You don't know how bad that knee is yet, do you, Tyler? No, we don't.
I don't. I'll look it up here while we're taping. Maybe
Okay.
There'll be more updates by the time people listen.
Wyatt drew a holding penalty on the great left guard, Tyler Smith. As a pass rusher, though, in this game, he was just kind of thrashing at the line of scrimmage. So he's out. So now Brooks played 40 and Wooden 46 and Stackhouse, the rookie from Georgia, 27. So it just wasn't good enough at all. Now, Brooks, his thing is rushing the passer, same as Wyatt, but he was a step or two. He would make moves on people or beat somebody with an arm over or something to get off on a pass rush, and he'd be just a step and a half late. I got him for 1 knockdown. That was it. Against the run, he gets high. I mean, the guy he's only 6'3" and a half. Boy, he does not play to that. Short arms, 31 and a half. Maybe that's why he can't get off blocks. And small hands, 9 and an 8. Weird. He weighed 296 out of Bowling Green. But he's not a run player, and they exploited him there. Now let's go to Wooden. Wooden is definitely bulked up. I mean, I looked at him. He's got to be 315 out of – his whole game has changed. He used to play a game of quickness. I thought he got bounced, and I thought he got pushed. He had a late knockdown. He was a non-factor. Stackhouse, they played the rookie more snaps than ever before, 27. Now, he's a big man, 6'3 and a half, 325 coming out. His arm length is not great at all, 32 and a half. The quarterback draw for the touchdown by Dak, he was totally neutralized by Tyler Smith. He gets moved to the point of attack. He made a nice tackle on a screen. He caught Turpin from behind, gain of 11. But I don't know. I mean, if they have Kenny Clark on the field, maybe they win that game. I mean, Parsons wasn't really a factor. The loss of Kenny Clark hurt them in this football game. All right, let's go outside. Start with Parsons. 47 snaps. You're right, Tyler. Schottenheimer and Jerry Jones and whoever else was involved in that, Clayton Adams, the OC, they did not want this guy to embarrass them, beat them, do anything to them to show them up. There was no question. So then the onus fell on Rashawn Gary, and he really played poorly. But let's get back to Parsons. So he's had all kinds of problems. Now, at the end of this game, at the end of regulation and in overtime, they did pay him for this moment. And the moment didn't happen for Green Bay. Now, yeah, he chased down Dak at the end. It took 4.8 for him to make the tackle. It was a good play. It was a sack because it was no gain, and no gains are sacks. Could have been +1, then it's no sack. On that Pickens 21-yard catch there late in the game, he was one-on-one against Nate Thomas. I've never heard of Nate Thomas. That's after Guyton got hurt at left tackle. Are you kidding? And he could not apply any pressure against Nate Thomas. Okay, he goes inside. The ball goes outside. Gain of 8 early in the game. He got hurt his back when he was chasing. I love his effort on that chase, and then he crashed on his back. He was doing some crying about being held. Of course they're going to hold him. Really pretty unimpressive from my standpoint. And Green Bay does not want those picks to be in the 20s, in the early low 20s, or heaven help the Packers if it's in the teens. But they're 2-1-1 right now. All right, let's go to Gary. He sees one-on-ones all day long, Tyler. Against who? Terrence Steele and Guyton and Nate Thomas. He got a hold on Nate Thomas, wiping out a 23-yard completion. He set the edge, tackled Williams for a gain of 2, and he beat Spanford in overtime on a running play, gain of 1. Nice play. Where's the rush? There was no rush. Let's go to Van Ness. 39 snaps. Well, I don't know. This is obviously not a breakthrough year that I predicted for him a year ago. Fooled on reverse, gain of 12. He's really, for a big man, Tyler, the guy's 6'5", 275 coming out of Iowa, ran 4.62, 34 arm, 11 hand. I mean, he's a big man. He's just not very good against the run. He's okay, but I don't see any domination or trashing people, shedding. And he had one flush against Steele. Enigbari, the guy who was tough against the run and is a physical presence, he played 13 snaps. I think we got them all on the edge, right? All right, let's keep going here. Sorrell played 8 snaps. Okay, now Warren Brinson, the rookie from Georgia, I assume will be active now, replacing Wyatt for how many weeks that'll be. Brinson had off-the-field problems, had a very checkered career off the field. He's a 6th-round pick, 6'5", 316. He's got a ton of talent, played a lot of good football at Georgia with Stackhouse. So I don't know if he's ready to play, but he's going to get a chance. Let's go to the linebackers. Both of them played all 69 snaps. Quay Walker, man, terrific first series. He triggered twice on wide runs, made the play. Outstanding. He stopped Ferguson, the tight end, on a 3rd and 5 hook, tackled him for a yard short. But he still catches blocks. He still lacks a feel in zone coverage. That may never change. Cooper, Hasn't had much impact through 4 games, Tyler.
Hmm.
A tad of a disappointment, I think. He had a
Same.
knockdown on a stunt, unblocked. He had a hit on the goal line, a nice play, -1. Missed a tackle on Ferguson in the flat, gain of 11. Broke up a hook to the fullback Lupke, and he missed a run through to start overtime on a gain of 11. It hasn't been great. It has not been great. It's been okay. Of the two, I don't know who's played better. It's too early to start talking about that. All right, let's go to the secondary. So you talked about it, the soft zones that they've employed under Halfley, Tyler, right?
Right.
All right, so let's look what we got. Mixon, he's second in the league in passes defense with 7. He had a great breakup on that over route to that speedy Turpin. Man, won it. Unreal play by Nixon. Gave up a 23-yarder to Turpin that was nullified. He missed a tackle on Miles Sanders, face mask penalty. They challenged him deep with Tolbert, incomplete. He covered Pickens on an end zone fade, incomplete. And that 38-yard ball to Tolbert that he came back for, why Nixon quit on the play, I have no idea. The guy takes him in the deep corner and he quits and he comes back and catches the ball at the 4. That was a puzzler. All right, let's look at Nate Hobbs on the other side. He's starting ahead of Valentine. He goes 46 snaps and then gets injured. I forgot what his injury was. All right, he makes a fine breakup on a ball to Pickens, nearly picked it. Pickens beats him for a jump ball, gain of 28. He gives up the 15-yard touchdown to Pickens. He gives up the 8-yard touchdown when Ferguson outbodied him, and then he got hurt. Not a very impressive performance. Now we go to Valentine, who, Tyler, I kind of liked Valentine all last year, and I thought he would do nothing but get better this year. He's from Nebraska, 7th-round pick, 5'11 and a half, 191, ran 4.44. He's got great arm length, 32 and a quarter. I just thought in this zone system he'd be great. But he was playing so soft. He looked afraid in this game. 3rd and 6. Turpin runs the out on him for 15. 4th and 2. They run the Pickens for 12. 28-yard touchdown to Pickens. He's 10 yards off when the ball was caught. All he was doing is backpedaling, missed the tackle, extra 20. And then they throw the out to Pickens for 21. Horrible. Let's look at the safeties. Evan Williams, he may have played better down the stretch than he's playing right now. Evan Williams is the guy from Oregon. He was a 4th-round pick. I thought that was a tad high from what I had heard. 5'11", 206. He only ran 4.59. Now, he is a physical guy. He and Nixon are the most physical guys in the secondary. And I love that about him. He forces fast. He forces hard. But again, he couldn't get over and break up that Pickens touchdown. Couldn't get over there and make the tackle on the thing. Now he didn't give up completions. He gave up all those last week. But all right, now let's go to McKinney, the veteran of the bunch. Missed a tackle on Williams on a check down, gain of an extra 9. He just is not an involved guy. For a 6-year veteran, I just don't see him as being that involved. Maybe mentally he is for the group. I don't know. But physically, he just kind of flits around. Doesn't really want to get involved that much. He's not averse to it. And if a play appears in his lap, he will make it, the hit. But Williams does the dirty work, and McKinney kind of stands. He made a good hit on Ferguson late. It was a good tackle. And then on Pickens' touchdown, he was kind of lollygagging. Pickens breaks the tackle by Hobbs, by Valentine. And he was late. Took a bad angle. He was late getting over. He should have made that tackle at the 5. That's it. I'll go to special teams, Tyler. So McManus, he hits from 53 and he hit from 34 to force the tie. 7 kickoffs, and I guess the measure on kickoffs nowadays is how many are non-touchbacks, and in his case, 0 touchbacks. Let's go to Whalen, 2 punts. He was fine. Now let's go to this. Okay, so let's start with Golden, the punt returner. They got him back there, and I just don't know. I mean, it's risky with this guy. He's trying to do too much. I mean, that ball, it bounced 5 yards in front of him. It took a hard bounce. That was risky. It worked out for him. He snared the ball and he saved his team probably 10 yards and gained 8. I mean, still, it's risky. He should have caught the ball on the fly, ran up to get it. He's a daredevil. Later on, he makes a really late fair catch, took a huge hit, spins after the catch on another one. Then he gets benched and they put Dobbs back there. The blocked extra point. All right, so we had the blocked field goal last time from the Green Bay left that cost them the Cleveland game. That was over on the left with protection problems, and I do think the kick was a tad low. I can't be ever sure of that. All right, so that was Banks, that tackle they just got, Brant Banks and Musgrave are over there. I mean, it's got to be Musgrave on that thing. And Janawe Thomas gets through there and blocks that thing, and it goes, happily for Dallas, it bounces right to 14, and Marquise Bell runs it in for 2. 2 block kicks 2 weeks in a row, and shaky punt returning. Savion Williams is messing up things as a kick returner. Musgrave got benched. Brant, what's his name? Banks, he gets benched on placements after that. They had Jenkins and somebody else in there. Turpin, late in the game when they needed it, Turpin returns a kickoff 45 yards to almost midfield. McManus had to make the tackle. That's it. I mean, it's not good enough by Bisaccia. Brutal, and they suffer a tie.
Where do they go from here on special teams? Like, how do you get better? That aspect of the game.
You got to get the right people on there. I mean, does he really need Musgrave on there? The guy can't block from scrimmage. And do you need Brant Banks, who just joined the regular roster this week? He got picked up 2-3 weeks ago. Do you need those people out there? No. Now, you could be like the Vikings and play O'Neal and have him suffer a sprained knee on block PAT. There's a risk. There's injuries that happen to those linemen on field goal PAT block. But Musgrave? I think Fitzpatrick was on the other side. I'm not sure if Kraft was on that unit or not. But you change people. You coach them harder. You spend more time on it. But like you said, Tyler, in your intro, these offensive coaches, you're right, Holmgren, Sherman, McCarthy, LaFleur, they're never in special teams meetings. They've never been in them their whole life. They're players, they're quarterback coaches. Their guy, or Sherman wasn't. The others all were. When meetings going on with special teams, they're in with QBs, man.
Yeah.
Holmgren set the tone. Bill Walsh, his assistants mentioned to me several times that Walsh was not interested in special teams. That wasn't his thing, man. They didn't really care about him. They were never good on teams. Offense and defense, yes. Teams, no. And it carried over from Holmgren all the way. They've just never been good. Fortunately for Green Bay, they've had really good kickers. Jackie, Longwell, right. Stenerud,
Crosby,
McManus, and Crosby. Thank you. But other than that, and they had Desmond Howard for a couple of years. Special teams have been it's probably kept them from not winning more Super Bowls, getting to more Super Bowls. There's no doubt about it, Tyler. We can't go through all those games, but special teams hurt them in myriad of playoff games.
That's the thing. I think when you first start to see it, I know I didn't really think much of it. You think, oh, that play is just a fluke, or what are you going to do over on that play? And then it keeps happening again and again and again and again. And then it happens in big spots in 2014 when John Ryan throws a touchdown for Seattle because Seattle, gosh, I'm really trying to jog the memory. Who did they know was going to crash down hard on that play? Was it Brad Jones or Sean Richardson or we spent a whole podcast dissecting the 2014 NFC Championship game. I don't think anybody out there that's a Packer fan wants us to relive it, but yeah, I mean, if it keeps happening, there's a clear disease within the organization that has to be remedied, and they thought they did. For whatever reason, Rich Bisaccia is considered this special teams maven, and it just has not happened. Nothing has really changed. Like, it's not. You can't just say, oh, blocked field goal. What are you going to do? Like, no, like this stuff needs to be coached and emphasized and fixed, and it just isn't.
Using the Rick Goslin ratings for all those years of his career, when they hired Bisaccia, I averaged up his ranks at his other NFL stops as number one coordinator. He ranked 14th annually. Now, they paid him like he was in the top three, I'm told, and he ranked 14th. But again, what does LaFleur know? I mean, he hired that guy who was his first special teams coach. That was a terrible hire. I remember talking to all those special teams coaches who said, what? They hired that guy?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What games should we go to next, Tyler? The Bears?
Yeah, let's get to Bears Raiders.
All right. The Bears and the Raiders, they go to 2-2, the Bruins. They look like an 0-17 team that first half. Taking the ball away, offense couldn't do anything, just brutal. And they won it at the end. All right. Las Vegas, at Las Vegas. Let's look at just a few things in this game. Cole Kmet. Now, Colston Loveland, I don't know his injury, but he's inactive for the game. Kmet, a 29-yard catch on a curl against zone, beautiful. Then he drops a seam going in at the 8, horrible. He missed Crosby on a backside cut, run for -4. Give him half a bad run on another one, and 2 false starts. Cole's got to play better than that. Receivers, Moore is – I just don't see DJ Moore as a big – I mean – he's more interested in Dunne and Zacchaeus and Kmet, the 2 wideouts than Moore right now. I don't know. Dunne, 27-yard touchdown, was a beautiful route, great throw. Zacchaeus, the ex-Falcon, I like him, Tyler. Every game he's 5 for 50 or something. He just gets open, man. All right, let's go to the O-line. So Darnell Wright he's out injured, out at right tackle. So they start Benedet over at right tackle. And we got to look at these guys. We've never talked about Benedet. I think that's the pronunciation. All right, he's a second-year free agent. He's 6'7". He was 295 coming out. He's a good athlete. He ran 5.16, 34.5 vertical, 9.6 broad. He's not very strong, 23 reps, and not very long, 32 and an 1/8 arm. So he's got short arms. He had a bad run against Crosby for -4. He gave up a flush on a walk back by Tyree Wilson, the old number 1 who's been a bust. He gave up a flush to Kuntz, and he had a false start. So then Braxton Jones was horrible in this game. 28 snaps. He gave up a hurry, a bad run, another bad run, and then they bench him. Ben Johnson benched Braxton Jones. He moves Benedet to left and comes in with Ozzie Trapillo, the second-round pick rookie, 6'8", 319 from BC. Ozzie plays right tackle, and he really held up against Crosby on that side. I mean, he played good. Now, I assume Wright will be back. Are they have a bye?
They do.
In 2 weeks. But that was an interesting move. The guards, Jackson played good. I thought Thuney's always good, and Dahlman gave up 2.5 pressures, including half a stack on a stunt. Not real good. All right, let's go to the tight ends. Let's go to the running backs. Swift, 45 snaps, Monangai, 19. Tyler, I just kind of like Swift. He was in Detroit. He was in Philly. I kind of like the guy. I mean, he dropped a swing pass early on. Did you hear about the fake flea flicker?
Yes,
You saw that?
I did. Yeah, I watched this one. Yeah.
They hand it to Swift. Swift fakes the lateral back to Caleb and takes off and gains 7 to start the second half. Well, you want to stop here and talk about Ben's halftime interview?
Yes, we can do that. I just want to say I think Aditi is the best sideline reporter going. She is one of the rare sideline reporters who will actually ask a substantive question, right? It's not just, some nebulous word salad of nothingness to just pacify. So many of these interactions, it's like nobody wants to be a part of it. It's just like, let's go down, see what the coach has to say, and it's a whole lot of nothing, and then everybody kind of moves on. She was able to elicit some real emotion out of Ben Johnson. The first half was steaming garbage. He knew it. She knew it. Everybody watching knew it. And I forget the exact way she framed the question, but I think Ben Johnson, he kind of apologized in so many words for his demeanor after the fact because he seemed to think it was more statement than question. But she just basically asked, how are you going to fix it? We're going to do different. And he just stared through her soul. He was not happy with being questioned. So power to Aditi. She's great. And she's, a reporter to the bone. Yeah, I think the thing is that's the thing with social media. There's an interaction like that, and everybody loves to dunk on the reporter for being put in their spot. When at the end of the day, you got real, raw emotion out of the coach, which is what you want. So in a way, it's good on Ben Johnson to not just go through the motions. You're pissed, and we saw you're pissed. So everybody kind of benefits from seeing how you feel in the moment of the game. It was clear. But you know what was more interesting than the halftime interaction? I put this in my story on Monday, if people caught it. But Aditi she brought up a conversation that she had with both Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. They have these production meetings ahead of these games, and it's usually a chance for the players and the coaches to kind of like establish talking points that will be regurgitated during the broadcast, which then make their way into the mainstream. And next thing you know, they're in the back of everybody's brains as just fact, whether it's the case or not. Aaron Rodgers was so good at establishing narratives via the production meetings, to his credit. So here's what Aditi said, quote, I asked Ben Johnson about any hesitation coaching Caleb Williams hard. And he said, quote, the very first day I met him, I told him a few things I love and a few things I didn't love. He's just going to have to get used to that's who I am. Then I asked Williams about it, and he said, you know what? In the beginning, when he was making an example of me in front of everybody, I really wondered, geez, are you just coming at me? Now he said they have a trust and a belief in one another. That's pretty telling. You know what I mean? That's about as close to the real deal as you're going to get out of a production meeting. And that's everything we heard from these coaches last year. I mean, Thomas Brown, those last 5 games as the interim coach, is trying like hell to coach Caleb Williams hard, to challenge him, to hold him accountable like he would anybody. And he wanted players to hold him accountable. That's what Ben Johnson is really bringing this quarterback from day one. Like, this is how we do it. Get on board or get out, in so many words. So I think that just kind of brought to life a little bit more of what's happening behind the scenes. And I'm sure you'll get to Caleb Williams here and his performance and where things might be going. But yeah, to answer your question, I thought it was good. The fact that people are talking about it means she did something right, because usually nobody gives what about these sideline interviews with coaches. Honestly, they're usually so bad. It's like, why even have them? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of a waste of everybody's time. But then something like this happens, and it's like, oh, it is kind of good to get some emotion in the heat of the moment.
No, we still need them no matter what. There's always something worthwhile.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is kind of a reminder. Like,
even on the bad ones,
it's good to have them.
The bad ones. Keep that practice. Okay. All right. Let's go to Swift. He plays well. He bangs it in there for his size. Can't even read that. Oh, he ran through Pratt, the big inside backer for the Raiders, yeah, inside the goal line there, made Pratt miss, and he scored the winning touchdown by showing his speed to the left pylon. Now let's go to Caleb. He faced a very tough rush, really. They were pretty strong. He eluded a sack right off the bat. He suffered 4 batted balls in this game, 3 by Crosby. He has a live arm. 3rd and 1 under center. He's under center. He stumbles coming out, picks it up, fires incomplete. Made a nice nice play action pass from under center. Then he, on a zone read, he decides to pull it, fumbles. He's lucky to recover it. Throws a ball in the dirt. Then he eludes another sack, runs right, fires incomplete. 3rd and 12, he drills that touchdown pass to Dunne for 27. He's got the arm, man. Near interception. He throws back inside against every rule of quarterbacking. Horrible. Eludes a sack, runs, gains 2. 3rd and 5, shotgun snap. Wasn't ready for the ball, minus 20. There was 4 seconds left. I mean, the clock's coming down, Caleb. He's got a sidearm delivery. He's got a quick delivery. Again, at the end, he eludes Crosby on a dead sack with 1:55 left, throws incomplete. So at the end of that game, they're down by 5, and they went 69 yards in 5 minutes to score the winning touchdown, didn't they? Yeah. So I don't know. Is he a 500 quarterback right now? Maybe he's a 7-10 guy. All right, I'll finish the special teams and then you wrap it up, Tyler. Santos, 7 kickoffs, no touchbacks. He hits from 46, 43, 52, and 51. I like the guy. I always have. Troy Taylor. You know what? Am I wrong? Is Troy Taylor kicking off? He kicked off at the end, I know. Maybe he kicks off. Maybe I'm all wrong. Maybe that's all Taylor on the kickoffs. I'm sorry. All right. Taylor, 3 punts, 49.3, 40.3, 4.33 net. Duvernay, I like him as a punt returner. He's really good. And they blocked the field goal to clinch the thing. 54-yarder, 32 seconds left. And little Blackwell off the right outside, Josh Blackwell, who joined them on waivers from the Eagles, blocks that thing. Most of the blocks come from inside, Tyler, with big mitts. But here, it was an outside block, as was in the Packer game. Then they gave up Lobby's 38-yard return, but the defense held. Okay, now let's go to now that wraps it. I got to do the defense, Tyler. Anything on the O and the special teams?
Yeah, you mentioned the throw across the body. That was Eric Stokes who broke on the ball and didn't pick it off, right?
Yeah.
The former Packer. And I think coming out of college, that was a knock on him.
You're 1,000,000% right.
Right? Just stone hands, can cover, but can't catch a lick. I mean, you watch that play. He's coming at it like with one hand, like it's volleyball to knock it down. He's not even playing to catch it. And it's like he knew it in the moment. He's like, he brings up both hands. It's like, if I would have gone like this, it's a pick. It should have been a pick. This game was the full Caleb Williams experience. I mean, like you said, his arm can be dynamite. He escaped some of those pressures to even give himself a chance on plays. It was unbelievable. But there were operational issues. There were penalties. There was that throw across the middle. There was the one of the 3 that Max Crosby batted. He picked off himself. That was when they're going in to score. Then he pieces together a game-winning drive. So it was kind of all the above. I don't know what Ben Johnson thinks about Caleb Williams right now. I'm sure he loved the fact that he won the game with a shot at the end. And we'll get into the Bears defense here. But yeah, to me, this game, big picture, the Raiders handed it to the Bears on a golden platter. I mean, 3 Geno Smith interceptions. The play of the game to me is when the Raiders are going down what yard line were they on here? It would have been okay. So they're leading 21-19, and they had a third and goal. Well, it started first and goal at the Chicago 7. Genty -1, Genty -3, third and goal at the 11, and it wasn't a perfect throw, but it's dropped. And you've got to score a touchdown there. You've got to go up 2 scores if you're the Raiders. So when that happened, you kind of start to wonder, okay, with the way the NFL's set up, would not be surprised if Chicago went right down the field. And then the clock management by Pete Carroll and the Raiders at the end was abysmal. I mean, they had plenty of time to get an extra 10 to 15 yards and just kind of lollygagged around. And I don't know. Did you have much confidence when Daniel Carson is trotting out for a 54-yard attempt? I would have been shocked.
No. All right, let's go to the D. Tyler, they're down 4 starters. I mean, Grady Jarrett, Edwards, and Johnson and Gordon. I mean, those are – well, that's 4 players among their top 8 on defense. That's a lot. Okay, so they start Billings inside. Now, I don't know what he's listed at this year. Let's check Mr. Billings. Andrews listed at 6'1" and 311. He's got to be 355, 360. And I've been kind of pushing for him to play more. So he has a chance to play because Jarrett's out. Plays 30 snaps. He stopped a 3rd and 1 sneak, and he killed Meredith, the center, on a 4th and 1 run, -3. I mean, but then after that, he tired. He had a neutral zone penalty. He's just really heavy. All right. Also inside, they played Dexter. He was okay. They played the rookie Shamar Turner, 15 snaps. He had a big stop on the goal line, -2, that led to a field goal, not a touchdown. And he got killed on a run for 10. Outside, Montez Sweat had a very average game. Oding Bayo had his least effective game of the season. Dominique Robinson, man, he was in on that big stop with Turner on that goal line, -2, which led to the field goal. Capacion, Ford, not much there. All right, Tremaine Edmonds. He's playing Will now with Edwards out, and they got Sewell at the strong side. Powers Johnson, that center guard from Oregon.
He was fun to watch in this game. He's a maniac. He's little Richie Incognito. He even looks like Richie.
That's it. You got it, Tyler.
Looks just like him. Plays just like him. So the scouts, that's the way they described him to you back in the draft.
So you're on top of it. You beat me. You got it. So one time, Edmonds just kind of running like 10 yards downfield. The ball carrier's going out of bounds for the Raiders. And here comes Powers Johnson, and he takes a run at him. He takes a run at Edmonds. And Edmonds sees it, gives him a forearm shiver, and knocks his ass over tea kettle into the bench area of the Raiders. And then Edmonds just kind of looked like, what? What was that? Yeah, that Powers Johnson. Okay.
Can I just read what the scouts told you real quick on Jackson? Yeah, I think I have it here. I remember it being gold. So that would have been 2024, right?
Yeah.
You're the number 1 center.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Here's one scout on Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. We didn't really like the makeup. Arrogant. Not your typical offensive lineman mentality. Here's another scout. He's ready-made. Throw him in there and he'll go to the Pro Bowl. He'll kick people's ass. Powers has played guard, center, tackle, but he looks like a natural center. Another scout. I don't think he's going to cut it at the end of the day. This kid is a little bit of a head case. Guy rolls up on him and he goes on the ground. They cart him off, and 10 minutes later, he's back on the field. He's the boy that cries wolf. I didn't think he fit the wide zone for teams that are running that scheme. He's a big mauler up top. A fourth scout called him quirky. So when teams interviewed him, it kind of depends on how he came off. Not a bad kid or anything, just a different kid. Everybody tries to kill him because of certain things, but he plays football the way it's supposed to be played. Tough. He's a prick. So what? Can't you be a prick? Who cares? He's playing for your team. Everybody tries to kill him on his makeup. His makeup isn't that bad. It was all over the place. That's why you got to subscribe to go long to get Bob McGinn's Trap series. Because then you see it.
Funny.
You see it.
All right, Sewell. No, so Edmonds, I think he was out of his gap, Tyler, on that 64-yard touchdown. And then he missed Junty on an 8-yard touchdown catch in the open field. He got beaten man coverage. He did not. After a big game last week, he played down in this one. Sewell, he had a forced fumble on 4th and 1. Big play, man. He was late to the flat on Junty's 8-yard touchdown catch. Missed the tackle. Missed another tackle. He made a big hit in the red zone for no gain. They need Edwards back, but Sewell has played pretty darn well. All right, let's go to the secondary. So this is Byard. I mean, really, after not hardly doing anything, Byard is a 10-year vet. 10-year vet, 3rd-round pick in 2016. Made a couple Pro Bowls with the Titans. All right, he jumps a route, picks it early, sets up a field goal. Short while later, same basic play, jumps, ball in front of Myers, pick. Made a huge hit on the sideline against that Trey Tucker. He missed the tackle on Junte on the 64-yard run. And on 3rd and 2, that sequence you're discussing at the end there, he tackled Junte for -1 with 40 seconds left. It was a huge play. On the outside, Stevenson played a really good game. Tyreek's been up but mostly down this year. He had a breakup against Thornton. He had a fumble recovery. He made a great diving interception, first play, 3rd quarter. What a play. He's man on Jacoby Myers. What a catch. Injured, and I think he came back. And then Wright had to start over there for Johnson. Played pretty good in this game. He got caught inside, I thought, on that 64-yard touchdown run, but I didn't have many things to fault him on. We did the special teams. That's the Bears, Tyler.
What do you make of the Chicago Bears 4 games in? And the roster assembled by Ryan Poles with a kick in the ass from Ben Johnson this past offseason.
They've had so many injuries on defense. I don't know what they have there. I really don't. I mean, on paper, if they get those 4 guys back, they could be pretty darn good. I like their return guys. I like their kicker and their punter pretty good. On offense, Williams right now, he's not quite good enough. You don't know what you're getting. They really can't run the ball and make a living doing it. Their O-line, it's a lot better than it was last few years. And their receivers are okay. I mean, what are they? 8-9, 7-10, 6-11 club. Somebody's got to lose in this division, and they're the most likely team to lose.
Timing is everything. They've got a bye week. Then they have the Commanders in D.C. You got to think Jane Daniels will be healthy by then. Terry McLaurin, that will be that'll be an interesting game. But then they host New Orleans. They haven't won a game. I know they played the Bills tough, but not much talent there. Kellen Moore's crew. October 26th, you're at Baltimore. They're all banged up on defense. They just lost their best player for the year. And on offense, Lamar Jackson, as we're recording this, there's a report that he'll be missing a few weeks. So who knows where he'll be. And then they're at Cincinnati. Cincinnati barely looked like an NFL team last night. Then they host the Giants. There's a lot of winnable games there. It's weird how the NFL works. I think if you were to look at that schedule before the season began, you'd say there's a gauntlet there. A lot happens week to week.
Do you think the Bears finish ahead of the Vikings?
No. I just trust Kevin O'Connell to weather this storm at quarterback. And we'll see. And we're going to get to the Vikings here.
Okay. All right, let's go to the
major J.J. McCarthy questions still.
Should we go to the Vikings? Yeah, let's go to them. So they fell to Pittsburgh 24-21. Aaron Rodgers had a solid game, 18 of 22. They only had the ball, They only had the ball 26 minutes, 53 plays, and they produced 313 yards. All right, let's look at the Vikings. So they're 2-2. They get Addison back from the suspension. But by the second half, they're down 3 offensive linemen. So let's start with the O-line. Darisaw started his second game at left tackle. He was not nearly as good in this game. Gave up a knockdown to Jack Sawyer, the rookie. Bad run late against Wilson. Who's Wilson? Peyton Wilson, that outstanding inside backer for the Steelers. Man, can he run? False start. And that Nate Herbig, the kid from Wisconsin, Nick, excuse me. Boy, he's a pass rusher. He beat Darisaw for a sack around the edge, beat him for a knockdown around the edge. So Darisaw did not play well at all. Okay, so they lose O'Neal after 11 snaps at right tackle on the field goal protection. He's got a sprained MCL. That could be, for a big guy, 4 weeks, something like that. So they have to bring Justin School back, who was a disaster at left tackle. Concussion. Now he's back. You know what, Tyler? He played pretty darn good against T.J. Watt. He really did. I mean, the guy had him one-on-one a lot. He gave up 2 pressures, no sacks, over 3 quarters. Too bad they couldn't give the guy game ball. I mean, that was decent. Inside, all right, they got a problem. Ryan Kelly, the center from the Colts, who they gave a lot of money to, 10th-year vet. After 34 snaps, he suffered a concussion. Now, that's his second in 3 games, his 5th since 2023. He had a couple in college. Is he going to continue his career? I mean, this is really touch and go.
And when you hear the stories of guys like Kevin Cobb, concussion 3 to 4 to 5, I know everybody's different, but that's where it gets mortifying in some situations.
So they come in with Juergens again, Mike Juergens, who played last week. He had a rough game. He missed Wilson on a screen. He gave up half a sack to that big ex-Badger Benton. He gave up a hurry on a bull rush to Cam Hayward. He missed Queen the backer, bad run. He gave up a sack on a stunt to Benton in 2.7. I don't know if Juergens is good enough or not. He was a 7th-round pick in 24. Boy, you got a young quarterback like McCarthy who was banking on Kelly. He's been with him all summer. If this thing falls apart in front, they could end up behind the Bears, Tyler. Fry's ineligible downfield. He had a bad run. They had a hurry. He was solid. So I guess that covers the old line. Donovan Jackson, he was out injured. He didn't play. Brandel, the guy who started at left guard last year, I got 2.5 pressures, but he's okay. He's just not that powerful. Okay, the receivers, Jefferson had a great game. They really Wentz targeted him 11 times. He catches 10 for 126. Great extension on those digs inside, hands out away from his body. He's fearless in there. Very sharp cuts. We know how good Jefferson is. Addison, he had 2 drops in this game. His first game back, he made 1 great catch for 21. And then on a blown assignment, he went 81 yards. He got run down by Peyton Wilson, the linebacker. Holy man. Naylor, the little guy from Michigan State, he's not so little. Mm-hmm. He's a hell of a blocker. He's like in the St. Brown category as a blocker. TJ Hawkinson, he hasn't broken loose. These QBs are not really using him. He catch 4 out of 5 for 39. And Thielen only played 12 snaps as the slot. But boy, on 3rd and 5, he catches a hook for 6. 3rd and 3, works inside, gain of 5. So he's their short yardage, move the chain guy. Let's go to the running backs. All right, Mason, 47. The other back is injured. That's Chandler and Jones. So you got the 2nd-year player from Maine, Xavier Scott, as the backup running back. So let's go to Mason, who we've loved all year long. Mason, he's an instinctive guy, vision. He's got more make you miss than you think. I like him. He made Queen miss in the open field. First drive, he fumbled, but luckily the ball went back to him. Holding penalty on a blitz pickup, but north-south, he gets north-south, he bleeds, runs, he catches the ball easily. He's a pretty good player. They're coming out of their own 1 yard line after a punt gets blocked. He goes straight ahead behind, a backup center for a gain of 7. It was a hell of a run. All right, let's go to this Scott guy. He played wide receiver for the Maine Black Bears. He is a big guy. He had a really good preseason. He's 6 foot 1/2 inch, 219. He ran 4.50. He's got 30 on the Wonderlic. Interesting player. He runs a wide receiver bubble screen as a wideout for 3. He made Jalen Ramsey miss. Nice reception on a check down for 15. He dropped a slot up against Queen. And then as a wide receiver, as a slot, Ramsey decides to ignore him, and he runs straight in the end zone, and Wentz gives it to him for a 16-yard touchdown. He later dropped a slot. All right, let's go to Carson Wentz. 84.5 passer rating, 2 touches, 2 picks. He was able to utilize Jefferson to his credit. I mean, McCarthy couldn't, and this guy can. He hit him on a dig for 22. I mean, he completed 10 balls for 126. I mean, that's a positive. He freezes under pressure, Tyler. He's in the red zone. He never saw Queen. He freezes. JJ's wide open. Jefferson takes a sack, held the ball for another sack and 4.0. Threw an interception, 3rd and 8, threw a hook to Addison. Ball was tipped. Made a hell of a throw in the middle to 17 with a rush in the face to Jefferson. Throws behind Hawkinson in the red zone. It's just, this is all first half. Near interception on the sideline. Throws a floater. He's careless, almost picked. He tends to lock on to guys. He still moves pretty well, but he locks on, and when that doesn't happen, then he freezes and taking sacks. He can run. 3rd and 8, he scrambles for 10. He fumbled. He gets blitzed, and he fumbles. Winces after it. He makes a poor fake and takes a sack. Throws an interception on a check down. Yeah, it was tipped, but he throws into 2 guys right in front of him, set up a touchdown. All right, so at the end of the game, 1st and 10 on the 20 with 1:01 left, trying to win the game, down by 3. Lost the ball on downs. He only gained 12 yards in 7 plays. It wasn't good enough. That's it on the O, Tyler.
So it sounds like J.J. McCarthy will start practicing this week. They're still overseas. They'll go from Dublin to London. They'll play the Browns, and then they have a bye week. Probably would make sense to just roll with Wentz one more week, get into the bye week, let the ankle heal, and then make a decision out of the bye. We're going to know a lot about the state of the Vikings when they are back stateside, aren't we? I feel like 2-3, 3-2 out of a Browns game, with trying to see where all your injured players are going to be out of a bye. We'll kind of answer that question when it comes to Minnesota or Chicago. I'm not going to quit. I mean, there's talent. I love what they did over the offseason up front, but if those guys start getting hurt and one by one, you have to worry. I still want to see more J.J. McCarthy. It's been one good quarter, but I really like that quarter, Bob. He played well under the circumstance. Other than that, it's been just mostly disaster. You watch J.J. McCarthy as much as anybody that consumes the sport itself. Back to those Michigan days. Where are you on J.J. McCarthy?
I keep thinking of Sam Darnold. That's what I keep thinking of. I mean, they used that money to sign old guys. Ryan Kelly, who's had a concussion history. Will Fries. I think they would have brought back Byron Murphy regardless. Darnold's played just as good as he did last year in Seattle. Hargrave, we'll get into Hargrave. They're having problems stopping the run, I think, largely because of him. Jonathan Allen, he's not what he was. We've seen him play 4 games. That's where all that money went. JJ could have sat for another 2-3 years. It happens. Didn't hurt Love. Didn't hurt Rodgers. Whew. Okay, I'm not forgetting that decision, Ty.
Sam Darnold was excellent that Thursday night game against Arizona too.
I didn't see it.
Throws. Yeah, he's playing really well right now.
Boy, Brian Flores, a perpetual skull, huh, Tyler? Isn't he something over there? I love his intensity.
Yeah. Players in Miami didn't love it that much, but but you need, right? You got to have it.
Well, the old man Aaron Rodgers, he outfoxed Brian in this game. I mean, he comes out audibles, checking, moving the ball around. He started out 10 for 10. He only had 4 incompletes, you know.
Is this formula going to work for Pittsburgh? I mean, Aaron Rodgers he's dinking and dunking. You got TJ Watt making these Herculean plays, batting a ball, picking it off. Cam Hayward won them the game against New England. He had the tip at the goal line on one play, and then he forced a fumble on another. I don't know, man. You look at the division. Lamar's hurt now for Baltimore. Cincinnati is in a really bad place. Cleveland, they can't do anything on offense. Maybe in their own division.
Maybe.
The math works with how they're trying to win games right now. To Aaron's credit, he isn't trying to be the Aaron Rodgers of 2011 or 2014 or even 2019. He's not. He's just trying to throw a little 4-yard pass here, a little 7-yard pass there, and there goes DK Metcalf off to the races.
That's a good question. Yeah, he'll do something. He's going to get hurt, Tyler.
He cannot move like he once moved.
Huh?
No, you're right. I think he can't move like he once moved.
No. All right, let's look at the Viking D. Redmond, the young guy, he had 2 sacks in this game. Now, one was just a gimme. He wasn't even blocked on the play. But Jalen Redmond, he had a run stuff. He's a pretty good player. Jonathan Allen, he's been on the ground some. Pittsburgh, without Warren, their starting running back, they had 29 for 131, 4.5. It wasn't Rodgers. It was Kenneth Gainwell and the Iowa rookie Caleb Johnson. They pounded him inside. Hargrave, we know he's a small guy. He's had a good career, 10-year career because of quickness. He's only 6'1.5", 305. Allen's only 6'2.5", and Redmond's 6'2.5". I mean, they're small. It's small front. They're all 6'2" guys or under. Last year they had Tillery at 6'6.5", Bullard 6'3", Harrison Phillips, Lowry 6'5.5". So they got rid of all those players. Lowry wasn't there last year. I take that back. Okay, Allen, he's been okay this year. And Hargrave, talk about getting run at. You can pound at that guy. And he's actually playing nose for him. Not a good combination. All right, let's look at the edge. Grenard had a really slow day, man. He cracks inside. The ball goes out him, gain of 10. He had a forced fumble chasing Rodgers. He had a run stuff, and he had only 1 pressure by my count. Let's go to Dallas Turner. So Van Ginkel's out with a neck injury, and I don't know if he's going to play this week either. It really hurts him. So Dallas Turner, like the 15th pick or something last year. All right, he's playing. Played all 53 snaps. I just don't like it, Tyler. He got a flush early against the tight end. He showed nice pursuit and got a hit. He lost the edge, gain of 8. He gets bounced around by tight ends, kind of like Musgrave, gain of 8. It got a knockdown against a tight end. Unnecessary roughness penalty. I mean, just a gratuitous punch against DK Metcalf. Unblocked on 3rd and 1. He made a stop. He flattened inside. I just don't see him really doing much in any run, pass, anything right now. Leadership, emotion, flying around hitting people. Okay, let's go to the linebacker. So Cashman's still out. They have had injuries on both sides of the ball. Pace, I believe he vacated the zone on Metcalf's 80-yard touchdown. He shows some knockback against Gainwell. He will hit you. He missed a tackle on the tight end. Wilson, the Packer, who rejoined the Vikings, he got a hurry. He ran through, eluded Fatanu, got a run stuff, -1. He'll do these things. Made a fine coverage in the flat on a 3rd and 4 pass, tackled him, gain of 1, missed a tackle at the end. He's a pretty good backup player. Let's go to the secondary. What do I want to talk about here? Harrison Smith. They're acknowledging now that he's not what he was after 13 years. Let's check that out. Harrison was a first-round pick in 2012. 15th year. Wow. Yeah. So last week I thought they were just going to break him in. That's why Theo Jackson played a lot more. But now he's got his feet wet. And the breakdown was Jackson 53, Smith 17. And Jackson's not a great player. He took a bad angle on that long Metcalf 80-yard score. He's kind of a very average guy. But Hunter Smith, Harrison, on that Metcalf touchdown, he missed Metcalf. He showed no burst to get to that the key breaking point on that play. He did make a tough low tackle on Caleb Johnson, stopped him dead in his tracks. He will do that all day long. But he showed no burst here on and poor reaction on a option route out of the backfield that gained 8. Jeff Okudah didn't turn back. He's in press coverage against Metcalf on a fade, gain of 17. I just don't know. Okudah, the Lions believed in him. They took him like number 3, Tyler.
Ahead of Justin Herbert, correct.
I think he's too smart for his own good. I don't know. 30 on the Wonderlic. We've been through all this. 41 vert, 6'1". Turns back, gets beat. Have you ever interviewed Jeff Okudah?
I have not, no.
Boy, that's a real mystery. Okay. The kicker, right guard, hit from 41 and 28. Kickoffs were fine. Right, he banged it good. 3 punts, average hang 4.73. Holding penalty, screwed Tavere Thomas on like a 55-yard kickoff return. That's it for the Vikings. They go to 2-2, Ty.
So, yeah, like Harrison Smith is one player I've gotten to know at Go Along here. We chatted at length ahead of last season about how in the hell he's able to play at a high level. And I had to look it up here. It's really funny. He said that when he kind of felt himself playing with a little too much tightness 2 years ago, now 3 years ago, he knew he had to kind of evolve to keep up with the speed of the game and drastically loosen up his joints, his muscles. He went to Home Depot, filled his cart with wood and pulleys, returned home, and started hammering away himself, put this thing all together. And it basically is a training philosophy developed by Slavic warriors in preparation for battles centuries ago. It's like this Pravilo stretching device. And he was like using it. It like pulls your limbs at all these crazy angles. His wife walked in and was like, "What in the hell are you doing?" This is Harrison, quote, "It's almost like a medieval torture device. I get pulled in every direction, and then you make it active and use it as a workout. It's silly, but that makes me feel so good. Everyone that comes over and sees it says, 'What the F is that?'" He just pulls them in all these different crazy directions. So he's doing his part, man. Like, we got into everything physically he's doing, mentally, dissecting the film. Obviously, you got to figure out other ways to win when you're a safety, a Caucasian safety at his age, to keep up. And you're right. The proof maybe in the pudding there with how the Vikings are using him in sub packages, decreasing his snap count. Man, he gives you some value though. Like he can drop the hammer at his age still. I guess they just have to be careful. I'm not out on the Vikings. I want to see more McCarthy. I want to see more of these guys they paid all the money for. They just have to take care of the Cleveland Browns, right? Like they have to do to the Cleveland Browns what the Detroit Lions managed to do, which we'll wrap up right now with Bob. Lions, a lot Browns very little. Anything of note out of this game?
Yeah, Lions 34, Browns 10. Let's look through this. The Lions were just average on offense against the number one ranked defense. The offensive line, just a lot of problems, a lot of misplays, bad runs. I think the best was they all had bad plays. I think Glasgow was the best, the center. I'll say one thing for Mahogany. The whole thing was trying to stop Garrett, and because Glasgow was playing so well, Mahogany. Let's say the left guard. Let's say Garrett's off to Mahogany's left. He would help with Glasgow initially, and then he'd look out of his corner of his left eye, and when Glasgow engaged with Decker, and then Mahogany went over there with hostility in his heart. Tyler, he was jamming into Garrett's ribs with two-hand shoves, knocked him down at least twice. I like the guy's temperament, Mahogany. Now, he's a pretty good player. And Ratledge, he had a lot of bad plays in this game. But they did run for 109. Gibbs had his 91. And, it wasn't terrible. They're all healthy. They should be better. Do they play this week? They got a bye? No, they play somebody. Yeah.
I'll look it up here.
Cincinnati. The receivers,
they've got a bye week?
Yeah. Oh, the Lions?
I'm saying playing Cincinnati.
Okay. Smart.
A week ago, I'm saying look out for the Bengals. Now I'm calling them a bye week, a homecoming opponent. Good
All right,
Lord.
Jamison drops 2. St. Brown was fine. Tesla only 12 snaps. Raymond made a great catch. He played 33. Tesla 12 was that third wideout. Laporta fine. You know what I look for on offensive players? How well they're willing to go tackle when the ball is intercepted. And he did. I remember a coach who was just railing. He railed onto his players. He railed on it to me. He said, offensive guys who are too afraid to run around in when it's a chaotic situation where you get bad injuries, rips, blocks, you go and tackle the guy first. Gibbs was fine. 17 touches, 97. Montgomery hardly played. 20 snaps compared to 37 for Gibbs. But you know what? He jars people in blitz pickup. 9 carries for 12 yards. That shows you how stout the Browns are, man. Malik Collins, don't just give all the credit to Mason Graham, they got after Mason Graham in this game. Malik Collins was the hard guy he's really a good veteran. Dallas got rid of him, didn't they? I don't know if it was a free agent deal or what, but they never should have. Goff, he threw a bad pick, way underthrew Williams' ball, never should have been thrown. He's fine. Let's go to the Lion defense. What's to note about here? All right. Aleem McNeil's supposed to start practicing this week. So maybe in 2-3 weeks he plays, which really helps. But the strength of the defense, so amazingly enough, has been inside without McNeil. Tyleik Williams, the rookie, has played the run. He's been a real anchor against double teams. Cleveland couldn't run with a darn, and he's got a knock. Now, he hasn't shown much pass rush yet, but I think he's going to be a good draft pick. And Reeder, the big guy from the Bengals, and he did show power rush in this game. He worked against Wyatt Teller most of that game. He just wouldn't budge, man. They are really stout up there, and you add McNeil, that makes that defense a lot different than it was last year. All right, Aiden Hutchinson, he played 63 out of 67 snaps. Tyler, he had so many. They're playing against those scrub backup tackles. Cornelius Lucas and KT Leviston, the guys Green Bay couldn't exploit the week before. But he was just he had all kinds of pressures. All the stuff Parsons couldn't really get done the week before, Hutchinson did. It's just all kind. I got 12 things jotted down on plays he made. Muhammad did a good job rushing. Okay. Let's go. And, Lopez, a pretty good pickup from the Cardinal. He played 40 snaps, and he's another DT who's solid at the point. Lacey, the guy they claimed on waivers from Jacksonville, he's not an edge rusher, but in 27 snaps, second week in a row, I kind of like this guy. He looks like a pretty good addition. Let's go to the linebackers. Campbell really had a hell of a game. He's finally getting to be a really good player, Tyler. He is he's a force inside. He's a big man, yet he can cover. He's so intense. I think he's become kind of the heartbeat of that defense. Anzalone, can go out and cover as well as play hard. He had a good game. And Barnes is a little like Quay Walker. He is an explosive hitter. I mean, Harold Fannin, that tight end from Bowling Green, who I really liked. What an interesting player he is. He came in against Barnes on a pull, and he just got his teeth shattered. Barnes just shattered him. Barnes is a pretty good pass rusher, too. He can play edge when they need that in the pinch. But he was fooled on an edge reverse or something, a wide play for 9 around him. The secondary, that's where the problem is, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Reed was great in this game for 52 snaps. Then he suffered a hamstring injury, and they had to haul him off the field. They say it's not season ending, but wow. I mean, he is a really valuable player right up there under Hutchinson with others. He had an interception, great coverage repeatedly. I mean, he looks like an all-North corner. And then to suffer this injury. And then Arnold, who hasn't been nearly as good, he suffered a shoulder injury late in the game. Maybe he doesn't play this week. He had 2 holding penalties. So their third corner becomes Malik Robertson, moved outside, and he's a good player. But can he, little guy at 5'8", hold up as an outside corner for X amount of weeks? All right, then they got Rock Ya-Sin they put in next. He's been with like half a dozen teams. And Maddox, the old Eagle, who's kind of a nickel safety, he may have to play corner. And Khalil Dorsey, he got injured late in the game. Branch had a couple holding penalties. He's got to stop being all this grabby stuff. Bates hit from 48 and 58 of his 7 kicks, 2 were touchbacks. Fox finally broke out. He had 2 of his punts were 5.14 and 5.38. He really hit it good, average 4.68. Khalif Raymond, 65-yard touchdown returned on a punt, ran up very aggressively, caught that thing, 39-yard line drive, and took it back. Their special teams look good. That's it for the Lions, Tyler.
I love watching Derek Barnes. That was a perfect description. Yeah, he has shattering teeth out there, and he can blitz. Kind of reminds me of the linebackers that I grew up watching, in the 90s. As close as you can get, right? We're never going to see Greg Lloyd concussing quarterbacks in the preseason games, of course. Nor will we see, who are some other linebackers from the 90s? I mean, those Steelers always come to mind. Even here in Buffalo, though, Sam Cowart, John Holacek.
He's 250
Wayne Simmons
pounds.
in Green Bay. Yeah. Levon Kirkland is the perfect football aesthetic. 300 pounds and running with the tight end up the seam. But yeah, I love Derek Barnes. He's fun. I want to get to know him. Maybe that's a good story to pursue here at Go Along.
Yeah. He's from Purdue, I think, right? I think so.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. All right. So we go to the memory, Tyler?
Let's do it.
All right. So when I got on the beat full time in 84, the first tie I covered. Let's get into the tie.
Oh, God.
The draw.
You have to end on a dull, insipid, bland note here with ties. Maybe I just choke this podcast out and end it. I got the power. I can turn it off right now, Bob.
Yeah, you do. You can cut me off right here. Cut my cords.
Cut your mic off.
So Tyler,
go ahead. There might be people. I know Youper, our loyal listener, Youper. He called me out on X. He said I like ties.
Okay,
I said there's
really.
I said the only thing worse than a tie is somebody that doesn't return their shopping cart to corral, and he made a few valid points. So he's with you, Bob.
Oh, okay. So there was no OT until 74, Tyler. Everybody had ties. In fact, back in the day, 60, 70 years ago, ties were counted in different fashion than they are now in win-loss percentage. I can't explain that to you, but they were. Okay, week 2 of 1987. This game is on September 20, 1987. So, Tyler, you weren't around yet.
I was 2 months old.
2 months old. You were born in July of 87.
Or I'm sorry, 1 month old. I was born in August of 87.
1 month.
Yes, August 13.
Okay.
Remember that game well, of course. How could I forget?
Awesome. All right. Union. We're all writing about our union labor issues. And Monday after this game, Upshaw, they staged a walkout, and that strike cost one game in that 87 season after it was, a 50-day holdout in 82. Anyway, so here come the Denver Broncos to Milwaukee. Green Bay lost their opener to the Raiders 20-0, whereas the Broncos walloped Seattle 40-17. The year before, the Broncos had been in the Super Bowl. They got hammered by the Redskins. Let's see. That week, Elway was on the cover of SI after belting the Seahawks. The opening line at Milwaukee County Stadium was Packers an 8-point dog. But when Forrest Gregg announced on Wednesday that Don Majkowski would make his first start in place of the beleaguered Randy Wright, the line immediately jumped to 10.5. Jim Feist, I interviewed him, and Mike Warren, odds makers at the time. Green Bay was last in their power ratings, 28 and last, Tyler. So practice was open. Okay, I want to go back to practice. So regular season, but practice was open. And my colleague at the Press Gazette, Jim Egley, was out there on Thursday, and Brent Fullwood had to leave practice early. And so what does Jim do? He goes and interviews Dominic Gentile as Pac's walking off the field. And Dom said, yeah, he got stung by a bee on the field. Stung by a bee. Bee sting won't stop Fullwood was our headline on Packer Notebook. And but Dom said it will not prevent him from playing Sunday at County Stadium. All right, the next day, I'm out there covering practice on the Friday, Tyler, right? Forrest used to do a lot of hitting on Friday.
You'd never
you're
see
out
that
there.
today.
It was reporting. You were out there to do a job and report what the hell was going on. So I write in the balance of this story. So Majkowski's running the offense. And they ran a 2-minute drill on Friday. Now, this is pads. Forrest always had pads on Friday. No, this week they worked against various blitzes. Obviously, it didn't go according to plan. Of Majkowski's first 8 passes, 1 was completed downfield, 1 was caught by a running back after being batted at the line, another was batted incomplete, 2 or 3 were dropped, and the rest fell incomplete. Tyler, it was a fire drill. And that's the way it was, man. They looked horrible. And I write, if officials had been present, the offense likely would have been penalized twice for illegal motion. After about the 5th play, Forrest Gregg halted practice. Quote, "You people can't even get out of the huddle," he screamed. After the 8th play, he aborted the blitz drill and skipped ahead to something else. Quote, "Every time I yell at somebody doesn't mean that everything is flopped and gone to hell out there," Gregg said to reporters later. "I just want you to know that. So don't go reading something into what I do."
Don't believe your lion eyes and lion ears.
Okay, so they're 10.5-point dogs with a second rookie quarterback from Depew, New York, right, Tyler?
That's right.
All right.
We hung out at his childhood home a few years back for that piece.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. DEPEW.
That's right.
All right, so now, Tyler, there's 10 days left in the baseball season. So at County Stadium, the skin part of that infield is intact. They would get rid of the pitcher's mound, but you got both benches on one side. Well, now, 25 minutes before kickoff, the sky's open. It rains until halftime. The field is a muddy, muddy mess. Can you imagine this with that wet dirt field? Okay. It's horrible. Now, Elway's going to be NFL MVP this season. And the Broncos are going to go to another Super Bowl where they get hammered by Washington. The year before, they got beat by the Giants. Joe Collier's his DC, and Mike Shanahan is his OC. All right, so how does this one break down? The final is 17-17. This is a huge moral victory. The Press-Gazette headline, Packers gain tie, respect.
Whoa.
They tied these vaunted Broncos. And, okay, now, Brian Noble, the linebacker, said, I was very happy to jog off the field this afternoon and hold my head up, look people in the face in the crowd, and instead of having people yelling obscenities at me, having people yell, hey, right on, said Noble. For me, I think we gained a lot of respect. Right on. Remember that expression back then? They had a chance to win it, but Al Del Greco's 47-yard attempt late in the mud didn't cut it. Now, are you kidding? So Jim Egley, he goes and interviews the Brewer people. He interviewed Brewers Vice President Dick Hackett and Harry Gill, the head groundskeeper at County Stadium. These guys were available in that day and age, you know. We huddled, we told Egley to go interview these people, and he did. They're out there trying to work the field because they play the Yankees the next night. He said, oh, no, we'll get this thing right. We'll get it right. And the crew of 25 worked until 9:30 Sunday night. Okay, let's look a little bit more about this game.
Oh, the full game is on YouTube, by the way, if anybody wants to check it out. I just pulled it up. Oh, yeah.
So Rich Carlos, a real good kicker, with a barefooted kicker, he had a 30-yard field goal. His 30-yard field goal won the game 3 years earlier in a blizzard in Denver, 17-14. In this one, he had a 40-yard attempt with 9 seconds left to win it. It went wide left. Carlos said, I thought Al's kick was the most impossible kick I've ever seen. That was from 47. And I think mine was the second most impossible, said Carlos. The conditions were just horrendous. It looked like the old Green Bay games I watched when I was a kid. The Packers ran the ball 41 times. They had no passing game, Tyler. That's all they could do.
I'm looking at the fields right now. You're right with that infield. It is just total slop.
Elway said, where's the Elway comment here? He said, I couldn't even hold on to the ball. It's not so much the wet, but it's muddy too, and it was heavy. Usually balls stay pretty dry, but with as much rain as we got, when they set it down in an inch of water. So sharp cuts. This game took 3 hours, 48 minutes. The Pack gained 234. The Broncos gained 478. The running backs were Fullwood, Kenny Davis, and Paul Ott Caruth and Jesse Clark. Sammy Winder and Wilhite led it for the Broncos. So Forrest was asked about Don Mikowski, who went 10 of 20, efficient 10 of 20, Tyler, for 121, 1 touchdown, and miraculously no picks for Don.
And number 5, by the way, he wasn't at number 7 quite yet.
That's right. Horning's number was not retired then. Is it retired now? I don't know.
I think so, but he's wearing it. I'm watching it right now.
Well, so Forrest, obviously the coaches tried to take the game out of his hands, and I write they were successful. So Forrest was asked to assess Don's first game performance, and Forrest said, well, he didn't do anything that killed us. He didn't lose the game. Can you imagine?
What a nice compliment.
Would there be a mutiny now if their coaches, oh my God, somewhat criticized a player from the podium?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there'd be all sorts of PR brainstorming sessions to mitigate the damage. What a good time you lived in the Cover Pro Football. Just honesty.
So of the Packers' 29 first down plays, Ty, they rushed it 22 times. They ran on 2nd and 9 3 times. Anyway, here's Forrest's summation. He wrapped it up. I don't know whether we can pass the ball anymore or not, said Greg. We may be blown off the season, I don't know. But I know one thing. If we get some blocking, we've got some people who can carry the football. We're going to do that. So that's it, 17-17. The Pack goes on to finish 5-9-1, and Forrest departs for SMU under cover of darkness shortly after the season to be AD. And the Broncos, as I said, go to the Super Bowl and get bulldozed by Doug Williams and the Redskins. And then the players walk out after the Monday night game. So that's it. You covered the next tie against Minnesota in 2013. And then the two teams, Vikings and Packers, dueled another one in 2018. That's it for the ties, Tyler.
I don't think you convinced me to enjoy a good tie. I'm sorry. I was, as you were reliving that week 2 brouhaha with John Elway and the Denver Broncos in the mud, in the slop. I went to the end, and I don't know if it's like the broadcast, like it looked like there was 5 seconds left on Don Mikowski's first play of the last drive, and then like no time elapsed, so he had like another snap, unless something happened with the broadcast. And he on the last play, like he drops it, he picks it up, just kind of runs off, and it's such an anticlimactic scene. Like then the players just kind of walk on the field, nobody knows how to feel, nothing. I don't know. Give me a winner, give me a loser.
So you found this game on YouTube just now, right? So do you think some people that are listening will go and watch this thing for a little bit?
I tell you what, if they made it to this point of the podcast 2 hours in, they're sickos just like us, and we love every one of you. So I'm sure they are. They are. Yes. True. You can find most games on YouTube.
Can you?
Oh, I mean, when I was working on the shoulder, blood and guts behind me, I had to relive all sorts of 70s, 80s, 90s, and a lot of the games, they're just posted right on there. It's fun.
So when I was doing the Super Bowl book in 2006 and 7 and 8, to get those Super Bowls, I got the 30-minute highlight tape from the NFL office PR. They sent me all those 30-minute TV shows that you see every year. I had no access to a full game. I wish I would have.
Yeah, they're on there. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all kind of get numb to all of the football talk all week long, and all the shows and all the fantasy football, and the same talking points just get regurgitated. I find myself I'm chasing 3 kids around, so not necessarily sitting down to take in First Take on ESPN, but if there is time to kill and I can take the TV back from Bluey and whatever else these kids are into, I'll just YouTube random games. It's great. I'll think of like a random Packers game from 1995, throw it on, and it's nostalgic.
Oh, funny.
All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Bob, thanks so much. Always great to see you. I have to get out there. We're due for a Michigan trip, I think.
Yep, I agree.
Derek Barnes, maybe we figured it out.
Yeah,
get out there and hang with one of those linebackers that could have survived that 17-17 tie at County Stadium.
Just check the dates with me because I'm going to be gone at mid-season.
Just throw the key out, hide it under a rock. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
that's we could.
I'll take good care of
We
your
could.
house. You can trust me, right? All right. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you.